Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to this important announcement about the Illinois Valley House of Prayer and the future of the ministry. For most of you, you know that we've been in the process of discernment for about the past 2.5 months on what the future of the Illinois Valley House of Prayer was going to look like. This was prompted by 4 out of our 5 major and primary leaders here at the Illinois Valley House of Prayer being called in different directions, whether that was called out of state or to different ministries. And this really left a pretty large hole in the operations and the continuation of what we were doing. And so at the start of this process, as we began discerning what the Lord wanted to do with the ministry, one of the primary things that we knew was that a leadership team was going to need to emerge, a new leadership team that would be able to continue the operations, continue with the mission and the vision of the ministry. And although plenty of people really wanted to see the ministry and the mission of the Illinois Valley House of Prayer continue, the truth is that that leadership team just never emerged. We don't know why. We do trust the Lord and we do believe that He is sovereign, but because of that primarily, we do believe that the best thing for us to do as the Illinois Valley House of Prayer will be to close down our official ministry operations. Now, I choose to word that very carefully because the heart and the vision and the mission of the House of Prayer was alive well before we ever came into town and well before the ministry was ever established. And it is going to continue to be alive well after we're gone. The mission and vision of united prayer and worship in the Illinois Valley continues to be the benchmark that we're seeking. So now I want to take a minute just to see how we can kind of digest this news. For a lot of people, this is going to be a painful loss. Obviously, for me as someone who was a part of the beginning of this whole thing, this is definitely a difficult reality to live with. We have seen amazing fruit over these past 5 years. We've really done our best as a leadership team, I can honestly say, to follow God every step of the way. Even when some of those decisions didn't seem to make sense in the natural, we were committed to following the Spirit of God. And I know me and a lot of our other leaders have learned a ton. There's been some great fruit and just some great learning lessons in this process. But I do need to make sure that I state that there is definite and genuine mourning and sorrow over this. I have a lot of hope out of some things that God's going to bring out of this, but I want to take time just to recognize that this is a challenging thing to understand and is a challenging time for a lot of us who are involved in the House of Prayer to walk through. As I was having this conversation with another leader who's had a little bit of experience of closing down a ministry, one thing that he brought to my attention was that this process of closing down the Illinois Valley House of Prayer as an organized ministry is actually ministry in and of itself, that there is a divine plan and purpose in this whole thing. You see, a lot of times we see the ending of something as a failure of it. And I really want to challenge you to look at this from a different angle. I don't believe that the closing down of the Illinois Valley House of Prayer is a failure towards the ministry or towards anyone who's been a part of it. What I think it is that God has allotted the Illinois Valley House of Prayer for a season of time to do a specific purpose in this region. Now, why it's ending now and why this was the time frame and all of that, I don't have those answers, and I won't pretend to, but I do trust God that He had us here for a season to put fuel on the flame of prayer and worship to the end of hopefully seeing revival break forth here. And as me and some of the other leaders have discussed maybe a little bit more of the why behind what God is doing here, we've really felt a strong leaning in a direction that really the closing of the Illinois Valley House of Prayer actually has the opportunity to produce a lot of good fruit. I love this verse. John 12:24 says, "Unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit." And I really think that there's going to be a new release of opportunities here in this area as the House of Prayer closes down. You know, the House of Prayer was a very centralized and organized entity, which I believe is what it was supposed to serve to kind of reawaken this concept of prayer and worship to the forefront of the minds of believers here in this area. But the way that I see God moving through the earth and the way I see him really being able to move in our community moving forward is through a more decentralized, organic, fluid expression of this. And so while we had an organization, while we had a building, all of these things, I see God moving in the hearts of men and women in our community to continue this effort of prayer and worship, but it's going to look differently. I think it's going to look like prayer meetings happening in houses, prayer meetings happening in coffee shops, worship gatherings taking place in the park. This type of organic move of God, I think, is going to release a lot of people into new levels of initiative, into new levels of leadership, and I think really has the opportunity to see what has begun here at the House of Prayer really spread throughout the Illinois Valley. Now, before I end, I would be remiss if I didn't express my deep, deep gratitude to everyone that's been involved in the Illinois Valley House of Prayer. I don't even want to try to list all the names. There would be too many of them. And I just want to start out by just saying thank you. Thank you to everyone who has been involved, who has been an intercessor here, who has volunteered to do things, who has been a financial supporter, who's been an encouragement and support to me and Sarah as we've sought to really lead this ministry with excellence. All of our board members, everyone that's really sown their time, their money, and their energy into the kingdom of God and what that was being expressed through the Illinois Valley House of Prayer. I want to thank you guys for that. Now, stay tuned because we are planning on having a closing celebration, and we frame it as celebration because of what I was just stating. We believe that this is a new era, that God is doing a new thing here in the Illinois Valley, and so we want to celebrate what he's done over these past 5 years. And so stay tuned on Facebook and through your email for an update on what that closing celebration will be. We're planning on it sometime towards the end of October, but it'll be a time to really celebrate, to worship the Lord, to enjoy one another's company, and to really just honor the move of God that's taken place over these past 5 years. The prayer room will remain open as the normal hours are listed into the foreseeable future. I will give notice as that time frame comes to a close. And I also wanted to just make myself available to anyone that's listening to this. If you have any questions, if there's anything that you want to dialogue or discuss, I would love to make myself available. Please feel free to email me, send me a text or a phone call. I would really love to be able to help you walk this journey as well. Well, that's all for now. Once again, thank you everybody for taking the time to watch this video. Thank you for all that you've done to make the House of Prayer a reality in this community. And we're looking forward to the beautiful new expression that God has for the prayer movement in the Illinois Valley. Stay tuned and be blessed.